Let me ask you something very honestly here. Have you noticed this pattern? When you get your first job, you are excited. If you have not gotten a job, you are a student, just think of someone, your friend who has gotten a job. At that time, what happens? You are excited. After that job, you dress well, you tell everyone, your first salary feels unreal. Even if it's like peanuts, it feels unreal. And then what happens? A few years later, you hear yourself saying things like, I'm just waiting to save enough money. I want to start a business. I don't like this work anymore. This feels boring. And I'm tired of this office politics, man. What's interesting is this. I have heard this exact same feeling from people who are 2 years into their careers, 5 years into their careers, 10 years, or even 15 years into their careers. I have heard this across countries, across industries, across job titles. Not only in India or United States, I've talked with people in different countries and continents. So the real question is not who feels this way. The real question is why does work start feeling boring after a while? Why does it happen? When we start our careers, everything feels different. Everything feels different, isn't it? Getting that first job feels like winning something. Even the smallest responsibilities feel important. Even a basic salary feels powerful. Even if it is small, we feel it is my salary. I'm not borrowing it from anyone else. That basic salary feels so powerful on us in our careers. Some days are tough, some days are easy. Some days you work more than 8 hours, some days you barely have to work. And yet, you're okay with all of it. All of it. So, what changes? Why does the same work that once made you proud later start feeling heavy? Why is that? And I have gone through the exact same thing for years with myself. And I have talked with so many people, as I said. So, this is an important thing that I want to talk about and share with you. Because here's the part many people actually never think about. Work doesn't become boring because you changed. Work becomes boring because it turned into a profession. What does that mean? Okay, let me explain this with a simple example that would make it clearer because I also think it that way. Think about a sport you enjoy. Can be any sport, say cricket, basketball, badminton, soccer, anything that you think of. For me, it was badminton, so I always related myself to badminton and think on those lines when I got stuck with these questions for myself. Okay, now when you have picked that sport, your favorite one, when you play it as a hobby, you enjoy it, you don't care if you lose, no one judges you seriously, right? You stop when you're tired and you play because you want to. No one is forcing you, right? Because it's a hobby at the time, you like it. Now imagine the same sport as a profession. You're earning from it as a professional. Suddenly, losing matters. Performance is evaluated. Someone else gets selected over you because they are better than you. Injuries affect your income. Politics enters, pressure increases, and the feedback that you get never stops. Same game, completely different experience. Nothing changed about the sport. What changed was the stakes. That's exactly what happens with work. When you turn something into a profession, like we had an example of a sport, expectations rise, consequences increase, feedback becomes constant, comparison becomes unavoidable. Stability depends on performance, right? If you don't perform, then you are a professional, you will not be able to survive. Even if you like the work itself, the system around it starts draining you. That's why a lot of people say, and we typically hear, I don't hate working, I just hate how work makes me feel. And that's an important distinction that we are looking at here. Important distinction that we are looking at. Add to this all the discussion that we are doing as with the profession, Add to this at work, office politics, recognition gaps, bias feedbacks, decisions you don't control, managers changing, goals moving every quarter, and so many more things. And over time, what happens? Over time, your brain stops seeing work as growth. It starts seeing work as maintenance. Maintenance. And maintenance is never exciting. How can maintenance be exciting, right? But our brain starts to think of work as maintenance then. Here's the part I want to talk about, which is missed by a lot of people. This feeling is not a failure signal. Not a failure signal. It's not a proof that you chose the wrong career. You are not ambitious anymore. Or you are meant for something bigger. You should quit immediately. It's not that. What is it? It's a proof. It's a proof that you have crossed from novelty to reality. Every profession reaches this stage. Every profession. There is no exception in this. Every single one is going to reach that stage that we are talking about. If boredom was a sign of a bad career, just think of it. If boredom was a sign of a bad career, then even doctors, athletes, and even CEOs would have quit by Tuesday afternoon, right? On a lighter note, I am just saying this. If boredom was just a sign of a bad career, it doesn't happen like that. It doesn't work like that in the actual real career scenario. I have gone through this over the years. That's why I want to share it with you, because you are in your early career. The problem is not boredom. The problem is expecting permanent excitement from something designed to be consistent. Because we are expecting that. Careers are not dopamine machines. They are not. They are long-term systems. Long-term systems. Once you accept that, two things change. One, you stop panicking. And two, you stop romanticizing the exits. And both the things that we talked about are important. This does not mean you should tolerate toxicity. No, you should not tolerate toxicity. You should not ignore burnout. That's real. You should never change the rules. You should never explore business or other paths. It's not that. It doesn't mean that. It simply means this. Don't confuse normal professional fatigue with career failure. That's what I want to talk about. Instead of asking, why does work feel boring? Instead of asking this, ask, is this boredom manageable? Is this pressure reasonable? Am I still learning something? Is this phase temporary or structural? That's how mature career decisions are made. If not, then it's always easy to just quit and say, I made a wrong decision by entering this career. But that's not how it works, right? Most people don't quit work because work is unbearable. That's not the reason they quit work. They quit because no one explained what normal feels like. No one explained that piece. And boredom is often just normal wearing different clothes. It's just normal wearing different clothes. If you have ever felt this phase in your career, this phase is something that many people face. From my experience, I think you have faced it sometime or the other in your career. I have faced it every other year. If you have faced this where work started feeling repetitive or draining, please comment how you felt at that time. Explain your feelings and how you grew over it. Because someone reading the comments today might need to know that they are not alone and how they were able to go through and push through that situation. Because if you are sharing your own experience, that is much better than any hype or any motivation or any other things that people give Guru Gyan. We don't want that. What we want is clarity.